Welcome back to Tabletop Jason. You may recall I unboxed this game a while back, but today we'll take a longer look at Ghost Castle. The story begins. You are paranormal investigators hired to find out if the legend of the haunted Ghost Castle is true and to record anything strange going on inside. Trouble is, it's all true. But perhaps the most frightening part of the game is actually figuring out how to set it up and play it. So that's what we're going to look at today. Last time, there was a little tricky part that got me on the box. But now, I found the secret. There's a tiny little notch in there. And if you do it just right, you can fill it and click. There it goes. So we'll start with the rules on how to set it up, and then I'll go over the gameplay and give a quick review. So part of what makes this game so challenging to put together, its instruction book is black and white. So the first time you do this, you're almost guessing what goes where. But I've done this a few times, and I am an expert. The first time took maybe 45 minutes, but I think I can get it done in about 3 sometimes. So the first thing we do is take out everything. I'm going to do it my way and not what's in the book, so there might be a little bit of difference, but that's okay. My way's better. Here. So, the first thing you do is make sure you have the right piece. Okay, you start with, you open up the box, take everything out, fold these little edges here straight. You put this little piece here, this middle piece. Look for where it matches up by color. You can see little dots here. You line up the dots. That's the easy way to remember. The hard way to do it is just to look at where you think it would fit cosmetically. So this side matches that floor. Oh, we got a runaway trap ball. Okay, we're in. Now we take the next section. You can look for the colored dots again. As you see, red and blue line up. You push it down. Whoops. And snap it in. I've been fighting a cold for the last couple of days, so if I sound a little bit groggy, it's the cold medicine. And whoops. Doing this with the pressure of the camera is what causes me to stammer about. Okay, I think we're in. It's best if you get it as sturdy as you can because those traps can get a little bit touchy. Okay. There we go, so you have your base made. Then you want to go for the staircase. They're not completely clear about this in the instruction manual, but you want to have these pretty tight, nice tight squares. So I kind of, before I do it, you really fold them, make sure it'll stay a nice solid square like that. And now this part is a little tricky. Let's see if I want, okay, I'll turn the box around so you can see where this goes. Okay, don't try this at home. You'll knock everything down. Make sure the cats are locked up too. Okay. So the stairs go right here. And you just kind of slip this piece right on. There it is. If it's a good fit, you'll know. And then we've got this piece of stairs. So they slip in just like this. Like this. Okay, So you want the base at the top. You want this little slide piece down because that's where your human will come out this way. Whoops, this way. See, they go down, come out like that. So let's slip them in. There's little notches they catch. You want to have those in so that it stays sturdy. And then there's one more down here. I don't know if you can see that there. So this piece is hooked. These are hooked, and then it's pretty solid. So then we put this base on. Wait, no. We have this. There we go. You want to make sure it's in right so that the ball can fall through all of the slots. So once that's in, you put the cover on. Okay, here's the annoying part. This has to be hooked together. That's not annoying, but what's annoying is when you take it apart, this piece doesn't fit in the box unless you take it back apart, and I just know one of these days one of these little knobs are going to break because it's tight, you know, it's tight. Okay, you put this up here eventually. There we go. So this is where the traps come into play. The ball drops down there. This guy sits atop. Let's let you see him. There he is. Hi, Ghosty. Whoops, I killed him. Okay, so there's the ghost. And now he goes down. We'll go back down to see the building there. Now we have the traps to set up yet. These can be kind of picky. So let's see. This piece here sits like this. So it looks like a, looks like a bookshelf. So it'll pop open like that. And there is a little trap that hooks in there. Here's the problem. Some of these cardboard things get pretty bent up pretty fast. You gotta have them in real tight. Okay, I think that's in. So when this trap works, pretty cool. Okay, now we've got this trap. This is a bookshelf. The ball comes out down here. Little notches here, you hook that in. And all that one does is shoot out like that. We've already got ghost traps set up. I forgot the base. This is where your characters start. They stand up here at this white line. This snaps right on top up here. There's a little trick to it. You don't want to force it, but you just kind of slide it in. And it connects. When you have this set up right, it's pretty sturdy. The whole game is pretty sturdy with the exception of this beast. This thing falls down all the time. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so this piece there's just a tiny little notch in here. So this will work like a little ramp. See that? And this is the part that looks like it should be really cool. This axe sits right here and it balances like that. So if you get the trap down this side, It'll fall in there. The problem with this piece is really touchy. So sometimes it falls when you don't want it to, but when it works, it's supposed to kill the person. Okay. Now, the thing about this game, well, we'll go over the rules in a second. That's the setup. So I did that, 10, 12 minutes, which isn't that bad, considering I was talking through it. Okay, whoops. See that axe? See, it just falls when you touch the board. When you play this with your kids, you spend most of the time saying, don't touch the board, don't touch the board, don't touch the board. Okay, let's go to the starting space and I'll go over the rules quick. And while I was moving my camera, the axe fell again. I told you, the thing is very touchy. Okay, so the rules are very simple. Here's how you load the ball. You load the ghost, you put him up here. When the time comes to do a trap, you push the button and that shoots the ball down in there. It's got a randomizer, it'll do one of the traps. So, your characters move through the dungeon, castle, house, whatever it is. The goal is to simply escape. Now, I guess on the original Witch Mountain, it's opposite. You start at this door here, and your goal is to get to the top. On this one, you start at the top, and your goal is to go through the 4 floors, through each door, and get over here to the ending space. You get there, you win. So the board is covered by green, blue, yellow, and red footprints. You move down the pattern by rolling the dice, and if you land on the stairs, any of the stairs, or on a red spot, you hit the ghost and a trap is released. If the bearing hits you and you're on a red spot, you back up to the blue spot. So if you're on the steps here and the bearing comes down and hits you, you go back to this blue spot. If you're on where's another one? Down here, if you're on these red spots and the trap gets set randomly to that room, you go back to this blue spot here. And even if your character, if it misses and your character doesn't get knocked over, they still go to that spot. And on the reverse, if you're on a safe space, which is green or yellow, and the bearing hits you, it's a mistake and you're not eliminated. You just stand your character back up. The yellow spots are an optional rule. I'll get to that in a second. So the way you play, you can have 1 or 2 characters. I think in games of 3, let's check in the rule book here. The trusty black and white rule book, because I forgot to check this beforehand. Oldest player goes first, don't forget. I go first in every game we play. That'll show the kids. Okay, each player chooses 2 pawns. If there are 5 or 6 players, just choose 1. So a game with 4 or less, you pick 2 characters. That way, it just keeps it a little more, I don't know, it gives you a little bit of choice, I guess. You can pick which character you want to move. We'll start them all up there. What you do, you roll the dice. It's not a normal 6-sided dice. As you see, it's got a ghost. If you roll the ghost, you push the button. Now, any other move, you just move. So like here, let's do a sample here. I rolled off camera, I rolled a 4. So my character would roll 4 footsteps. 1, 2, 3, 4. He or she, what is it? It's a he. He landed on this, so we'd hit the ghost, and it hit that one. So he's safe. You reset the trap. And the next player moves. They do the same thing. I used to have a dice. There it is. they roll, we'll roll it up here so you can see it's a 4 also. 1, 2, 3. If you're going to land on a player, you jump to the next spot. But they're still on a red spot, so we hit the button. And it hits the axe. Maybe my table's not right. Sometimes you just hit the axe every time, it feels like. But it hit the axe, so they're safe. We reset. That guy died. I don't know what happened there. Okay. And then the next player goes. Now let's just do it. 1, 2, whoops, we roll. Okay, so here's another rule. When you're rolling, you move your character one spot. You have to pick which character you're moving first, then you roll. If you would land on another player, you move to the next spot ahead. If you land on a ghost, if there's anybody on a red spot of the stairs, you hit the trap. If there's not, you roll again. If you hit a ghost that second time, then you just lose your turn. So let's see if we can get out of this stairs. Ooh, she hit the ghost. There's somebody there. What'd we forget? Let's just put it down. It hit the axe again. I wonder if this isn't centered right. 3 for 3. That's the type of stuff that will come up in a review. Let's just see. Ah, there we go. It hit the steps. So now both of those characters were knocked over, so they would go to this blue safe space. And they'd keep going until they get to the bottom of the steps. So let's say you're here, then you're out of the steps. So let's say this guy's here, this comes down, it hits him, and it hit this one. Since this one was already on a green spot, he just gets put right back up. Since this one was on the steps, he goes back there. And that's what you do. You just keep rolling and trying to get through the traps, or trying to get through each room until you get through the trap. So let's say she's just rolls down here. So there are a few choices you can make. If you look at this room here, there is red footprints and green footprints. So you'll take a little longer if you want to go this way, but you don't risk a trap. Where if you're here, the ball comes out through here, you'll get hit by a trap. The beauty part, though, if you get through the traps, you get through the room faster and you win the game. There's also something else that's cool. There's this shortcut. This trap here shoots out like that and opens a door. If you have a character here who's on one of these two spaces with the star and a trap is set, comes down here, opens that up, you immediately jump through that door onto the other side all the way to this star. So that's a big shortcut. Now, if you're over here or over here, that won't work. It's only on these square spots. So you need another character to hit that trap. But that's kind of a cool thing. Let's look at the other room here. So here's the trap on this wall. Okay. So then when you're in here, if you're on any of these red spots and this trap gets hit, there you go, you're knocked off and you go back over to there. Where's that bearing? Here we go. I'll show you the final room now. Oh wait, so then in here you've got the option. No, you don't have any option. You've got to go this way. Okay. You get into this room. It's set. If you're anywhere on this ramp, the axe falls down. And there you go. And then you go back over here to this blue spot. Oops. So in this room, see, I cannot get that axe to stand up sometimes. Oh, let's fix that. There you go. So you see how frustrating this game can be sometimes? Okay. Now, that looks like it's in there, right? Okay. I think so. Where is it? There. Okay, so if you're on this ramp, or if you're on that room, you have the option. Look at that. I tap the table and that falls down. Oh, that's another thing. If a trap accidentally is set, the characters aren't harmed. But so in this room, you have the option of taking the red footsteps or taking the safer green ones. Well, we decided in this room when we've played, you're just always better off going this way because that trap is set all the time, it seems like. Like I said, I don't know if my board's a little off-centered or my table or what. But anyhow, first character to get there wins. I said wins, but that's not completely right. They actually escape. The way you win is when both of your characters have escaped. And there's another trick to it. You have to roll the exact number. So if you're 2 spaces away, you need to roll a 2. If you're 3 spaces away, you need to roll a 3. You get there, both your characters are out, or in a 5 or 6 player game, your single player's out. That's how you win the game. And then there's just one other quick rule I wanted to mention. It's the optional yellow footprint rule. The yellow footprint rule, all it means, or all it does, is make the game last longer and be a little more difficult. If your roll would have it to where you land on a yellow footstep, you can't. So let's go down here. So let's say you're here, you roll a 2, you can't land on that yellow spot, so your turn's over and you just stay here. Likewise, if let's say you're here, you roll a 1, you can't land on another player, you move the step over them, so you'd step over, can't step over to a yellow, so you'd stay there. That's just an optional rule to make the game more challenging, as if it isn't challenging enough. So, my thoughts on the game are this. It looks awesome. I mean, come on, look at that. That looks so awesome. I love ghosts and haunted houses and all that. Playability though, I mean, there's not a lot of strategy to it, right? You just roll the dice and hope you land on the right spot. You gotta hope the ghost trap doesn't get you. And you just have to survive. So, it's kind of a survival horror game, but it's not real strategic. The characters don't matter. You just pick one that you like the look of. I will show real quick how to take it down in a second, but I don't really have any other thoughts. My complaints, like I said, the axe is unstable. The randomizer doesn't always seem to work right. It seems like it hardly ever hits this one and hits the axe at least half of the time. So I don't know if that's just my board's wobbly or what, but you know, it is what it is, and it is a haunted castle. So let's take this down real quick, just so you can see how it fits back into the box. This is the part I was talking about before. You almost need some kind of, whoops, okay, here we go. Let's go Cobra Kai on this guy. Oh, that would explain it. Okay. Oh, that was easy. But see these little pieces just look like they could break off. I don't know. But let's get this apart so you can see just how much fun it is to take it down. As for replay value, that's the other thing about this one. It doesn't have a lot. My My kids thought it was super cool when I first bought it because, like I said, it just looks like something you would want to play. But unfortunately, it just wasn't what's the word for it? Entertaining enough, engrossing enough, I don't know. I hear that the original Witch Castle is a little better. I might buy that one on eBay and do a review sometime. Or do a comparison review. I think that could be fun. So as you see, first thing you do to put it away, just take everything apart. Whoops. There we go. Which side is up? That, okay. That's the bottom. Turn it sideways. I won't make any, okay. Whoops. Okay, I kind of stack these pieces in. I always leave the piece of the axe there. That's why bend up more cardboard than you need to. So I kind of stack these in like that. Lucky I checked that, I was on the wrong side. Flip it this way. Okay, so before you put it away, make sure you're putting the things in here. Okay. So just kind of fold up all the pieces together, stick them there. And then really the instructions come with, they show you this, but it's not exact science, believe it or not. You can fit them in on your own. You can fit them in however you want. Okay, I might have lied. Maybe you should read the book. Okay, and there it is. That is Ghost Castle. So on that note, I hope I wasn't too harsh on this game because it is kind of fun. It just, well, you heard my criticisms of it. And that's it for now. So if you want to support this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be back with another video next week. So until then, thanks for watching.